Very good morning to everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. We were just saying, for those of us that have had a couple of days off for St. Patrick's Day, we feel like it's Monday, but it's actually Wednesday. So great to see you all. It's absolutely brilliant to have the turnout that we have in the room today. And what I would say is that when I looked at the list of attendees that are registered, we have such a diverse range of people in the room. We have those representing festivals, cultural events, conferences, sporting events, attractions, councils, suppliers and more. And I think this is just testament to the ecosystem that actually makes up the vibrant event landscape in Northern Ireland. And with that, I think, as Donna has said, we have a real opportunity here today to think about how we can look to drive our business growth, but also our economic value from tourism through collaboration. You're all here today because for us events matter. They matter to communities, but as importantly they matter to visitors, and they certainly matter to the future of tourism in Northern Ireland. So in terms of today's masterclass, this is part of a wider programme that's all around building industry capacity and an understanding as to where you fit within that tourism landscape. So when you registered, we have heard from you today that you would like help with brand clarity, reaching out-of-state and overseas audiences, dealing with limited budgets, getting better access to data and insights, and support with digital skills, especially the opportunities presented through AI. And ultimately, as we've seen through the poll today, there's a real opportunity for us to do more together. So before we jump into today's session, I thought it was really important for us to think about our North Star. So the Department for Economy set the vision for tourism through the Tourism Vision and Action Plan. And in that, the ambition is to drive the income coming from tourism to 2 billion by 2035. We see that as particularly growth through sustainable, higher value, regionally balanced and supportive productivity, good jobs and decarbonisation. This is a long-term vision, and what I would say to you is events are central to achieving it. What we do know is that we've come a long way since COVID. I know many of you in the room probably have a little bit of PTSD from those days, especially given that events were the first to be locked down and probably the last open. But the great thing is that we've been showing strong recovery. We're now back to performance targets that are on par with 2019, but we have seen a slight softening in the markets. I think that staycation novelty has worn off slightly. I think people have definitely got fed up with the weather in the first 3 months of this year. But there is a real opportunity through the international markets to make sure that we can provide compelling reasons to visit Northern Ireland. And that's where events are particularly important, because what we see is they provide reasons to come at a point in time, but there is an opportunity for us to cluster better together with our experience providers and our accommodation, not just to drive volume, but also to drive value, to get people to stay overnight, to be spending in our restaurants, to be exploring more after they've come to Northern Ireland for that specific reason. So in terms of today's directive, I would say that the vision sets out 5 key principles. Think about designing your events for value, not just for volume. Think about making sure that we can extend the season purposefully together. What we can see from an accommodation perspective is that there is softer levels of occupation in the earlier parts of the year and the latter parts of the year, but yet the market research is telling us that there's a high level of demand in the international markets. So by working together, we can help drive that conversion. We'll hear today from George about how you can get trade ready and bookable. Again, we know there's a very, very high level of appetite from operators that are programming the island to think about coming north. And by working together with here in the room today, you have a real opportunity to drive that conversion. 4th principle is about rooting decisions in data and making sure that you use insights, extensive research that's available both from Tourism Ireland and from ourselves to help inform your business decisions. And finally, to make sure that you use digital and AI to compete smarter. So in terms of the programme today, everything is levered around the things that you told us that you would like support and help for. But to really get the value out of today, what I would ask for you is to be open and honest. This is a collaborative space, and it's important for us to not only share successes, but also the challenges. Think about partnership and not competition. Again, whilst you might see somebody that you are competing with, in the reality, Northern Ireland is competing with the whole of the world, and we need to work better together. And stay for the conversations. I know that dairies are really, really busy and pressed, but what we want to do is make sure that you get the value out of meeting new people in the room today, but also understanding those opportunities that we have to collaborate together going forward. So finally, what I want to do is just let you know that there's lots of people from Tourism NI that are in the room today to support you. So other than the conversations that are happening around the table, you will see that we have little stads and pods around the room, and we've got representatives from lots of teams from Tourism NI, from the events development team, from quality and standards, marketing, business solutions, and also experience development and regions. And in addition to that, remember that we have support that's available always on. Through tourismni.com, you can get access to lots of data, research and insights, but also through My Tourism NI, you can register for practical steps to help to help grow your commerciality, your operational ability, and also a lot of the things you'll hear today around AI and marketing. So in conclusion, thank you so much for joining us today. I believe that we have creativity, insight and ambition in the room today, and I hope you leave with practical tools, access to partners to help unlock that. Thank you so much.